Alrighty then, so let me take you back to one of the most surreal gigs of my life. In the 90s, I toured with my dad's band War. The band behind the classics like Lowrider and Right Hand Would Be Friends. We played everywhere. You may not know this, but I was involved in their comeback album back in '94. I spent almost a year in the studio working on that album, and after it was done, the band said, "You're all over this thing. You might as well join us on tour." So I did. And for nearly a decade, I was out on the road performing on live and televised stages all over the world. But there was one place that sticks out. Haley, Idaho. I was like, what? Where? So we fly in. And the drive from the airport is exactly what you'd expect from a small town. You know, the kind of place where the diner is probably the biggest local attraction. But as we get closer to the venue, things start to look different. Suddenly, there are all these shiny, brand new buildings that feel totally out of place. Like, where did these come from? The hotel that we're staying in? Brand new. The venue? The Mint. Also brand new. It was like they took one block and decided to give it a serious upgrade. Naturally, after checking in, I do my usual thing and wander around a bit. Across the street from the venue, I see these huge glass front buildings. And inside, doll houses. Yeah, an entire collection of doll houses just sitting there on display. Turns out, that whole side of the street, including the doll houses, belong to the venue owner's wife. So while her husband is booking bands, she's building a tiny little empire. I'm thinking, okay, this gig is already shaping up to be unusual, and we haven't even started sound check yet. So we get to sound check, and the crew tells us that the venue owner not only personally booked us, but also really wants to jam with us. Now that doesn't happen. He's ready to grab an instrument and jump in. Just as we finish up, a family walks in. Husband, wife, kids in tow. The guy walks up, introduces himself, and it hits me. I'm standing face to face with Bruce freaking Willis. Yeah. That's Bruce Willis. And here's where it gets even crazier. Bruce is a massive War fan. One of his favorite songs is Gypsy Man. Now, this is mind-blowing for me. Bruce Willis, John McClane himself, is telling me how much he loves my dad's band. It was one of those, is this real life? Then he says, hey, it would be cool if I could join you guys on stage tonight. And I'm thinking, dude, you're Bruce freaking Willis. So of course we said yes. But it doesn't stop there. After sound check, Bruce invites us to check out his private room in the venue. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a nice little VIP lounge. Nope. We walked into Bruce Willis's personal underground lair. There was a full bar, big-sized TV screens everywhere, and a small stage with an upright piano. It's like a secret jam space hidden in the middle of Idaho. I'm just standing there like, is this guy for real? After hanging out a bit, we head back upstairs for the show. And before we even hit the stage, Bruce is already in the DJ booth spinning records. Yes, you heard me right. Bruce Willis is DJ. So the show starts off, and Bruce gets up on stage with us. And the crowd goes nuts. This wasn't some celebrity just jumping in for fun. He absolutely kills it. And I was having the time of my life. The next day, Bruce shows up at the hotel restaurant while I'm having lunch with my dad. Now, I'm trying to stay cool like, yeah, Bruce Willis is here. No big deal. So of course I have to ask him, Bruce, how did you end up in Haley, Idaho? He tells me that he was filming a movie nearby, got some skiing in, and during some downtime, he broke his leg. While he was recovering, he stumbled on Haley, fell in love with the town, and because he's Bruce Willis, he decided to buy the Mint, rebuild it, and pretty much take over the whole block. That's Bruce for you. Now, fast forward a few years later, I'm back home in LA, trying to get into this hot club on Sunset Boulevard. I'm waiting behind the rope, and the bouncers are giving me, sorry, not tonight. I'm about to call it quits when I hear a voice behind me say, you gotta let this guy in. He's one of the coolest. I turned around, and there's Bruce Willis. He gets me into the club, and I'm just standing there, stunned that he would even remember me. We crossed paths again a few years later here in Budapest. Hearing about his recent health struggles with dementia really hit me hard. I can't imagine what he and his family are going through. And it's heartbreaking to think that someone so full of life and energy is facing something like this. I truly wish Bruce and his family nothing but peace and strength during this time. Hang in there, Bruno.